It is Tuesday, September 29th, 2020, and this is an update on the Three Gorges Dam and current events in China. We have 4 pieces of information to cover today, including a look at the live stream and the water level at the dam. Also, courtesy of the Asia Times, China-Russia agricultural ties will emerge stronger than ever. Next, courtesy of Furcroft, building the world's biggest dam. We also have some new tweets. Let's hop into it. And a brief caveat before today's video. While researching for these reports, I come across information from various sources. Just because I decide to include a piece of information doesn't necessarily mean that I agree with it. I like to let you decide for yourself. Moving on. And checking in on the live streams from the dam, we can see that the spillway angle camera is still up today, and the side angle camera remains deactivated. It's also worth noting that it looks a little rainy today. And now a look at the water level. The current water level at the Three Gorges Dam is 161.44 meters. The current inflow is not noted, and the current outflow sits at 20,400 cubic meters per second. It is worth noting that these numbers are released by the CCP. And over the last 24 hours, the water level at the dam has continued to rise. It was 160.2 meters just 24 hours ago, and currently sits at 161.4 meters. Upstream at Kuntan, the water level was 171.7 meters 24 hours ago, and now it sits at 172.3 meters. And this comes courtesy of the Asia Times. China-Russia agricultural ties will emerge stronger than ever. Growing consumption rates and disruption of global supply chains have led China to eye a substantially focused circular economy and to search for reliable agricultural imports. This gives Russia a major chance to expand trade relations with China beyond oil and gas exports, and to assert itself as a reliable, even indispensable partner for China's food security. During the past few decades, China has demonstrated a spectacular shift in consumption habits. Grain consumption more than tripled from 125 million metric tons in 1975 to 420 million in 2018, while currently the average Chinese person eats 63 kilograms of meat a year, 6 times the meat-eating rate in 1978. With the world's largest population, this has established China as the biggest consumer of meat globally. Beijing recently announced plans to increase productivity in its $1.7 trillion agricultural sector, but food security still raises concerns. Although China's agriculture sector logged robust performance in the first quarter of 2020, and recorded a 3.5% year-on-year increase in the added value of the planting industry, there were multiple signs of weakness in China's agricultural sector. Concerns about food waste and growing consumption demand also take a toll on the environment. For instance, direct manure discharge from China's animal husbandry activities are dramatically polluting the rivers, and about 34% of the food produced on China's farms is never eaten. Currently, China imports more than 20% of its food, and the pandemic has revealed the importance of avoiding disruptions. Fears of food shortages, unexpected severe floods, and typhoons that hit the country this year boosted food prices on average by more than 13% in July alone, and by 11.2% from a year earlier in August. China also announced the release of 62.5 tons of rice, 50 tons of corn, and 760,000 tons of soybeans from its strategic reserve, and it is set to purchase record volumes of meat and dramatically boost imports of wheat and soybeans. The unexpected interruptions have revealed shortcomings in China's agricultural patterns and the need to invest in a substantially focused circular economy, while also looking for ways to diversify food supplies. As Russia-China economic relations continue growing, Moscow's agricultural exports that have been shrinking under Western sanctions could become a natural hedge. China's decreasing trade volumes with the U.S. as a consequence of trade wars might create a major momentum for Russian suppliers to cement their shares in local markets. Last year, China slapped a 25% tariff on U.S. soybeans in response to American tariffs on a range of Chinese products, and shortly after that approved major wheat imports and soybean imports from all parts of Russia. The opening of the Chinese market has provided opportunities to more than 30 Russian agricultural companies, including the Cherkezovo Group, the largest meat producer in Russia. Thus, many Russian business people became increasingly enthusiastic about lucrative export perspectives in China. These expectations have gradually started to be realized. In 2019, Russia-China trade turnover totaled $110.75 billion, a modest increase by 3.4% in annual terms that was compensated by agriculture emerging as the fastest growing segment. For instance, last year Russia exported a record 207,000 metric tons of poultry worldwide, 10% more than in the same period of the previous year, and of this amount 62,600 tons were sent to China, worth $143.4 million. This caused a 65% increase in poultry exports in monetary terms, which for the first time in history totaled $329 million, according to the Analytical Center of the Russian Agricultural Ministry. There are also multiple signs of deepening China-Russia agricultural ties. In August, Beijing proposed a soybean industry alliance with Moscow as it strives to cement economic ties and offset threats of decreasing supplies from Western nations. There are also multiple signs of China seeking to boost its imports of Russian wheat, pork, and poultry. As China seeks to invest in a circular economy and allow more Russian companies into its agricultural market, Russia's share will likely continue to grow. All in all, high capacity establishes China as the most promising market for Russian companies. Although Russian suppliers still struggle from multiple constraints when accessing the Chinese market, there are strong signs of agricultural ties continuing a robust upward trend in the coming years. Thank you for watching this video. If you're finding it informative, please consider giving the channel a subscribe. And this article comes courtesy of Furcroft.com. Building the world's biggest dam. The Three Gorges Dam is the largest ever built. The dam body was completed in 2006 and is so big that it's been said a shift in its total water mass can literally slow the rotation of the Earth. The original idea to build a massive dam over the Yangtze can be traced back to former leader of China, Sun Yat-sen, in 1919, who stated that a dam built downstream of Three Gorges could be capable of generating 30 million horsepower. Proposals were regularly put forward in the decades ahead, with Mao supporting the project and even writing a poem about it in 1956. However, it wasn't until 1992 that the project was finally approved, with construction commencing on December 14, 1994. Even with far more construction techniques available than back in Sun Yat-sen's day, construction was still a mammoth task that took 12 years. In this process, 463,000 tons of steel was used, enough to construct 63 Eiffel Towers. Finally, in 2006, the dam's body was completed. The dam fundamentally transformed the surrounding area, creating a reservoir that can hold up to 39.3 billion cubic meters of water, submerging large areas of Kutong, Wu, and Xiling gorges for about 600 kilometers upstream. In addition to the dam's use as a power station, the creation of this reservoir allows ocean freighters to navigate 2,250 kilometers inland from Shanghai on the East China Sea to the inland city of Chongqing. A ship lift was installed on the dam that can elevate ships of up to 3,000 tons vertically 371 feet. A helical gear system is used to climb or descend a toothed rack, which takes just 20 minutes to lift a ship. The primary purpose of the dam is to generate power using 34 hydroelectric generators, each with a capacity of 700 megawatts, and 2 plant power generators with a capacity of 50 megawatts. Initial power began being generated as early as 2003, before construction of the dam body was even complete. But it wouldn't be until 2012 that the dam would be a fully operational hydroelectric power plant. In 2015, it was reported that annual electricity generation was 20 times more than the Hoover Dam. At full capacity, the dam can produce enough energy to offset 31 million tons of coal consumption per year, reducing greenhouse gas emissions by 100 million tons per year. On average, it produces around 1.7% of electricity demand throughout China. And our last piece of information is a series of interesting tweets. And I think that's a good place to wrap up today's video. I hope that you found it informative, and check back soon for more content.